Greetings one and all, Nick DiVirgilio here, and I'm hanging behind a beautiful Mapex Armory 5-piece shell pack and a beautiful desert dune finish. Let's go. If you're in the market for a drum kit where you're going to get great bang for your buck, then I encourage you to check out the Mapex Armory line of drums. Not only do you get great sounding drums, you get great looking drums as well. This beautiful desert dune finish looks great under these lights. It'll look really great on a stage, but there's a lot of killer finishes in the Mapex Armory line. Also, you get a snare drum in the shell pack, which is not normal. You get a steel 14 by 5.5 tomahawk snare drum. All great things, they sound really great. Let's get in the details and the sound of this kit right now. In this 5-piece shell pack, the sizes of the drums go like this. A 10 by 8-inch rack tom, 12 by 9-inch rack tom. The floor tom is 16 by 16. The kick drum is 22 by 18, and the snare drum, like I said, is 14 by 5.5. Let me first turn the snare wires off, play the drums, and then I'll talk about the construction of the drums in just a second. Here we go. Yeah, great sound, nice tone interval between each drum. They came up to pitch really naturally, and they have a big beefy sound. One thing before I put the snare wires on and play the toms again, I want to mention to you about the drum heads that I put on this kit. Out of the box, it comes outfitted with a typical single ply clear head made by Remo. But like I say, whenever I shoot a drum kit video, it's great to check out different head combinations for your drums to find your exact sound. I picked a very typical drum head for this kit, the Remo Clear Emperor on the toms. It's used constantly in the studios, on the live stage. It's a double ply head, so it's giving these drums just a tiny bit more fatness, okay, and a little bit more warmth in the tom sound. There's all kinds of other great heads you can get here at Sweetwater from Aquarian and Evans that'll do the same kind of thing or even more depending on what kind of sound you're looking for, and that's why you pick different heads. All that being said, snare wires on, let's play these toms some more. Here we go. These toms sound great. Emperor is a really nice choice for this kit, but again, check out different head combinations. Let me take a second here and talk about the construction of the drums before I get to the sound of the kick drum, because it's really important and it's why these drums sound so beautiful. The shells are made up of a combination of woods, birch and maple. They're 6 plies thick in the toms, and they have an inner core of maple, and the inner and outer plies are the birch. So you get punch of birch, warmth of maple all around, and just a great combination. Also, the bearing edge, it's called Sonic Clear. Now there's Sonic Clear in all the hardware and all kinds of areas on the Mapex drum kit, and I'll talk about those as I go along. But they call the edge their Sonic Clear bearing edge. And what it is, it's a rounded over edge in the back side and a 45-degree edge on the inside, but that inside edge is cut basically right in the middle of the rounded over part of the shell. And what this Sonic Clear bearing edge does is it makes it so the head seats on perfectly all around the drum shell. And you get better tuning range because it's a nice flat surface. It really hugs the shell perfectly, and you can go high to low, and it stays in pitch. Now on to this beautiful 22 by 18 inch kick drum. You might notice that there's no hole in the front head, and I also have no dampening inside the drum either, but I have a Remo Power Stroke Pro as the resonant head. The Remo Power Stroke Pro has a foam ring that is held on around the whole circumference of the head, and that's the dampening that the drum is getting. And now for the sound, I have the snare wires off. I'm using a Mapex Falcon double pedal with the felt beater. Here we go. Nice, big, fat, low-end tone. Let me put the snare wires on and do the same thing. Here we go. All right, now on to the snare drum. Again, it's a 5-piece shell pack with a snare drum. That's not typical when you buy a shell pack. And Mapex gives you this 5.5 by 14 tomahawk steel snare drum. It's a 1mm thick stainless steel shell. You get steel armory lugs, a rounded 45-degree bearing edge on the shell on the inside, power hoops, a really nice strainer and throw-off that's really easy to use, and it's cracking. It's got a loud sound. Here we go. I'll have the snare wires off at first, and then I'll turn them on as I play. Here we go. Man, that's one loud, cracking snare drum. So you can play all kinds of styles of music with this drum kit and with this snare drum. If you want to play heavy rock and roll, for sure you can do that. Get some thick heads like the Emperors or G2s or Super 2s from Aquarian, all kinds of things like that, and you can just rock to your heart's content. Use a single ply head like a Remo Ambassador or a G1 or a classic clear from Aquarian. Tune them up high. You can play jazz, all kinds of modern pop music. Get yourself maybe some dampening on the snare drum, like a big fat snare drum, and you can play all kinds of gospel music and funk and all kinds of stuff, so it's a really cool, versatile drum kit. That being said, it also sounds cool with some different implements. So I got some brushes here and some nylon dowels. Let's go for these. Okay, now let's talk about the hardware that comes on this kit. Again, really nice, and it all has the term sonic clear. They really put a lot of thought and effort into that term because it really makes the sound of these drums. It's all about the resonance and tone for Mapex drums. Let's start out with the Sonic Clear tom suspension system. It's very small and compact, but it makes the drum hang freely and again, resonate nicely. Check this out. It's really free to just breathe the whole shell. It's held on by 2 lug points at the bottom of these 2 lugs, and it's very easy to place and it stays in its position no matter how hard you're hitting it. Now, along with the Sonic Clear tom suspension system, you also get the TH800 tom holders that you connect to your cymbal stands. Again, it's all about the resonance. You'll notice that there's an air pocket, like a hole right here in the tom suspension system. What that does is it's all about the sound not leaving the drum, going down into the floor and dissipating really quickly. That happens a lot, especially in floor toms. If you're on a big stage that's really vibey and loud and stuff, a lot of times your sound just kind of will travel down your cymbal stands. I don't know if you know that or not, but it does happen. The system that Mapex made here is that the sound doesn't leave the drum. It stays around this whole area and doesn't travel down into the legs and go away. And it all has to do with the system right here. You get a nice ball joint so you can really move the drum around wherever you want, okay? Tighten it down good, it stays in place, it doesn't move at all, and again, the resonance never goes away. You get very nice low mass, beautiful looking Mapex lugs all over this drum, and the low mass means there's not a lot of space to take away from this beautiful finish. The chrome really stands out nicely on this desert dune finish, and these lugs are really cool looking. Also, one thing that I think is a nice visual feature is the badge, which is right there. Big and bold Mapex black badge really stands out and jumps off of this beautiful finish. You get nice rubber-lined claw hooks for these kick drum hoops with recessed tension rods. They're going to keep these beautiful hoops nice and scratch-free as long as you take care of them that way. Also, kick drum spurs. Let's talk about kick drum spurs. I love good kick drum spurs, and Mapex put some really nice ones on this kit. It's notched in many different spots so you can get it to your exact position and always know where it was after you break down your kit. It's sturdy, the kick drum never moves, they're very nice. Now let's talk about the floor tom legs. Sonic Clear floor tom legs. Down at the bottom, the rubber pieces at the bottom of these floor tom legs keeps the sound of this beautiful fat sounding floor tom in the drum. The sustain, the resonance never leaves. And last but not least, I'll mention it one more time, this beautiful desert dune finish on this kit. It looks great. I think it looks really nice under these white lights in our studio here with this blue purplish background I have behind me. It really stands out nicely. But like I mentioned earlier, there's great finishes in the Armory line. So make sure you talk to your Sweetwater sales engineer about that because there's all kinds of killer looking Armory drums. I want to encourage you to check out the links below this video. I have a lot of great gear around me here today. A PreSonus DM7 microphone pack meant for drum kits on the toms, the snare, the kick drum, the overheads, beautiful microphones, making this drum kit sound great. Going through a Quantum 2626 PreSonus microphone interface, beautiful Zildjian cymbals, the Remo drum heads. Click the links below if you want to take a look. And there you have it, everybody, the Mapex Armory 5-piece shell pack in this beautiful desert dune finish. You also get a Tomahawk snare drum to go with this kit. Great sounding drums, really versatile. You can play these in all kinds of styles of music. Great bang for your buck. If you want any more information about this Mapex product or any other Mapex product, just talk to your Sweetwater sales engineer. Thanks so much for watching this video. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Click right here for more videos just like this one, or start at sweetwater.com for all your music instrument and pro audio needs.